to the All-Canadian Reptile Girl. I'm a version of Annaliese visiting from an alternate dimension where elephants are the size of golden retrievers and Firefly never got cancelled. And today we will delve into a critically important question. Is the Dumerils Boa the best pet boa you can get? I don't know. But yes, obviously they are. I'm just kidding. There's no way I am qualified to state that Dumerils Boas are the best pet boa. For one, I have not kept every boa species as a pet, not even close. But more importantly, there's no such thing as the best pet boa. What makes the best pet for me might not make the best pet for you. Heck, the best pet for me today may not be the best pet for me in 5 years, or even next year. The best is contextual and subjective. While I can't tell you that Dumerils Boas are the best pet boa, I can tell you that they are awesome, and for as long as I can hold your attention span, which YouTube analytics tells me would probably be about 60% of the way through this video, I will tell you why. Let's start with appearance. There are so many gorgeous boa species. Emerald tree boas, IMG boas, more like OMG boas, am I right? Brazilian rainbow boas, even plain old ordinary BIs and BCs. Gorgeous. And let's not forget about the smaller boas like rosy boas, rubber boas, and all the sand boas. The competition is fierce. But I think it'd be hard to argue that Dumerils boas aren't one of the most beautiful. I mean, look at them. This cryptic patterning is stunning. The colors you pick up when you look at one in person is just unreal. The camera does not do them justice. They don't have morphs per se, but there is a lot of variation in coloring between snakes. Tassara here, for example, is much darker than her mate Romeo, who is much more orange. There are all shades of white and cream, shades of brown, flecks of orange and reds and yellows, even purple. These masks on their sides break up their profile and, in the wild, in the brush and ground litter of southwestern Madagascar's scrub forests, serve to make Dumerils lying in wait nearly invisible to their unsuspecting prey. I came across someone online saying that some people of Madagascar view these markings as representation of their ancestors' spirit and see them as a blessing. I've also come across another stating that these faces have more sinister origins and represent evil spirits, and how Dumerils boas are an omen of bad luck. I don't think you are bad luck, bud. Love him. I've not been able to corroborate or confirm these stories, so take them with a grain of salt, but if true, that tie-in to local folklore could be really cool. If anyone out there happens to know for sure and can confirm, please let me know in the comments. In any event, they lie in wait unmoving and almost invisible for days or even weeks. They use heat-sensing pits on their faces to alert them to a tasty treat approaching, and what's that? Oh yeah, no, I said heat pits. Well, look at the face. What do you see? Well, a mustache, but there are heat pits there. Trust me, they are there. They're there. Unlike pythons, well, not Aspidites, but most pythons who have very big conspicuous holes in their face, boas' heat pits are more like a network of tiny pores and sensors to the scales around the mouth. They aren't as sensitive or function with as much range as a python or a pit viper, but is an effective tool towards getting the jump on an unsuspecting warm-blooded critter. Between that and their huge teeth and their powerful strike and enormous overall strength and practical invisibility thanks to these markings, staying out of their belly is a tough gig for some small animals that venture just a little too close. They work very hard at being very sedentary. So sedentary, in fact, that they are one of the few animals that can actually sleep close to 35 hours a day. Don't look that up. In all seriousness, they do sleep most of the day, and even when they are awake, they usually don't move much unless they absolutely have to. This doesn't mean you can get away with an undersized or bare enclosure. They benefit from an enriching home just like any other snake, and they absolutely need the spare space to stretch out and move when they decide to do so, which is admittedly not often, because of the laziness. Their lethargy was so apparent, in fact, that the first part of their scientific name, Acrantophis, translates to lazy or useless snake. By the way, they already had a name before European naturalists came along and named them Acrantophis dumerili. I mean, it's not like indigenous folks were just waiting around for some dude to jump off a boat and then name the animals after the dude's buddies and inform them of what all the animals were called. In Madagascar, these snakes were called does long before being labeled Dumerils Boas, which is perfect and is actually what I refer to mine as in our house. Gonna feed the does, spraying the does tank, you know? They're all doughy. It fits perfectly. Does. Plus they're doe-eyed. Thank you. They are often cited as nocturnal, but they are in fact ephemeral, active for very brief times whenever it is convenient, day or night, based on temperature requirements and availability of prey. They are probably often assumed as nocturnal because they have slit eyes, and it's a commonly held belief that vertical cat-like pupils denote nocturnal behavior. But that's not really true. Slit eyes are not a reliable way to judge whether an animal is nocturnal or not. Many nocturnal animals have slit pupils, don't get me wrong, but lots of diurnal or ephemeral animals have them too. Slit pupils increase the range of light intensities that the eye can function at, which is one of the reasons why many nocturnal animals have them. Round eyes can actually allow more light into the eye, which would be more helpful in low light conditions, but because nocturnal animals' retinas are usually composed of mainly low light rods, slit pupils being able to constrict much more actually helps nocturnal animals see better in bright light, as opposed to being helpful in low light like most people assume. Vertical slits also help maintain focal length and reduces blurring, so it is very useful for ambush predators looking at an unchanging field of view to be able to have their prey stay in focus as they move into and through the frame, so to speak. And may also play a role in the efficacy of their camouflage. Big ol' round black circle stands out, you know? Not all nocturnal hunters have vertical pupils either. In fact, there's a strong correlation between vertical pupils and animals' proximity to the ground. You know what? I'm gonna do that in a video all of its own. The weirdness of eyes is awesome and confusing and very interesting, and there's a lot of things going on there, not just relating to snakes. But suffice to say, slit pupils do not necessarily denote nocturnal behavior, but they are very helpful for a wide range of intensities, and as an animal that is active day or night, that is a huge advantage. While eyes are very helpful in their own right to lots of creatures, there are other helpful things in this world too. Take my patrons on Patreon, for example. These guys here help make my vision for this channel come true, and I really can't thank them enough for all of their support and contributions. I give my patrons some neat perks like early ad-free access to my videos, behind-the-scenes stuff on animals no one on YouTube or Instagram knows about, and more. If you want to lend your support and take advantage of some extra goodies, then head on over to patreon.com/allcanadianreptilegirl and see what's available. If Patreon is not for you, that's okay. You can still hit that like button. It helps make sure that this video gets to other people's eyes. Get it? Because I was just talking about eyes. And more people will be able to learn about these amazing creatures. That like button is probably the most powerful tool that everyone has access to help support your favorite creators. If you like a video, any video from anyone, hit that like button. It is so much more important than you might think, so thank you. In terms of care requirements, Dumerils Boas are easy. Heat and humidity are within very reasonable ranges to maintain in most environments. They're very docile, lazy, like I said before, and very forgiving if the parameters aren't perfect. I highly recommend observing your Boa's behavior as you slightly adjust the care guide parameters. Both of mine seem to like the temps a little cooler than the figures listed in most guides. I know someone whose Dumerils Boa likes it hotter. Observe and adjust, yeah? What else can I tell you? Oh, I know. Don't be alarmed if they don't poop for a long time. Both of mine eat every 8 weeks. They leave little urates around pretty regularly, but only do a big proper poop maybe 3 or 4 times a year. It's impressive, and that's all I'll say about that.
That is one big pile of
Holding onto a poop for a long time is actually advantageous for a lot of ambush predators like a Dumerils Boa. The stored poop acts as an inert mass in their lower half that requires no energy to maintain and provides a stable base and increased friction to act as an anchor for a powerful strike. If they need to make a quick escape, they can take a dump and drop a bunch of their weight, making a quick getaway easier. This is called adaptive ballast or strategic constipation. It is kind of gross, but a great way to maximize their power. And they have a lot of power. These guys are the physically strongest snake I have ever held. They outclass any python or BI or BC. Relative to body mass, king snakes are still far more powerful than any snake, but they're itty bitty. In terms of direct, at this size physical strength, unless you have a pet anaconda, you'd be hard pressed to find a stronger pet snake than these guys. Now, that might sound a bit scary, but they really are extremely safe snakes. I would even go so far as to say that they could be a great snake for someone new to the hobby. They're docile and lazy, which we have covered at length, so they are easy to handle despite their size and strength. They rarely get bigger than this, and even though this is a 6.5-foot snake, that impressive power is meant to be used against a small prey item that they can wrap multiple loops of coils around and squeeze. There are simply not enough Dumerils Boa to be able to coil around anyone like that and focus that squeezing power onto a person. Now, wrapping around your neck could be a problem if you let them loop around, so don't do that. And even if you slip up and they do get around it, they are small enough that you should be able to just grab an end and unwind. But don't test that, eh? Keep them from getting around your whole neck, and I think that's pretty straightforward. One thing you might have noticed in a lot of the footage I probably used for B-roll shows my Dumerils Boas together. That is because they are cohabbed. Don't get ahead of me here and go jumping in the comments to leave a judgy note about cohabbing. I've done the research, spoken to other Dumerils breeders, and have good reasons, which I will cover in depth in next week's video. Suffice to say, it started with breeding, but has evolved into something else. Make sure you come back next week to find out what the deal is there. YouTube will remind you when that goes out if you just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So go hit that, and until next time, remember to nurture all nature. Bye! I'm just kidding. There's no way I'm qualified to state that Dumerils Boas are the best pet boa. For one, I have not kept— oh! There's a tail in my pants. The muscles knots in your neck getting— she slapped me.